Hello, hi, welcome to the Lunar Lounge series brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is 25.giugno. Priestess Abossi. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for the new moon in Cancer. We already have a little bit of the energy. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. It's a delight and an honor and a privilege to serve you. Thank you for allowing me the pleasure to do so. We will be imposing the guidance from Thoth Tarot. That's by Aleister Crowley, illustrated by Leda Frida Harris. And we will be deliberating the findings for any type of pairings, like a pair of this, a triple that, a set of this, from the minor arcana from Cosmic Coven Tarot. That's over at Ripe Avocado by Lisa Lazenby. And if any type of corresponding energy comes out, we'll be using the Daily Oracle by Vita Sibila at Lo Scarabeo. When there is a new moon in the sign of Cancer, that typically means receiving intentions. It can be ancestral. It can have to do with our comfort and security in the world, motherhood, children, the womb. And I want to be clear here. Men also have a womb now, not to give life, birth, create humans. But for a woman, it's called conception. They gestate. And for a masculine energy, it's called inception. So the polarity is down here for feminine and it's up here towards the third eye for masculine in terms of the positive pole. Okay? I mean, actually, excuse me, the negative pole. The negative pole is the womb. So that's a little bit of where the Cancer energy is coming from. And you can see on most tarot cards, there's usually two chariots or bulls or horses pulling the chariot. It's talking about poles. This is one of those karmic times right now because Saturn's in Aries and we're having all this energy in Cancer right now. So there's a square as well. And it is very much about inception, conception. So inception is masculine, conception is feminine. That polarity nurtures and creates. They also gestate, while the masculine energy typically implements. They're more direct with their energy. They go forward. But this is not one of those times. It's a Cancer energy. So Cancer energy does take action, especially protective, but it's more about relishing in an experience, and it's more of a protective energy as well, as I can see. So we have the Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords clarifying, actually, yeah, clarifying this World card. So something has come to fruition. There can be self-interest with the Five of Swords. There also could be some kind of innocence, naivete, and we're getting startled away. This is saying that there's been an achievement in some kind of way. We finished something, wrapped something up, and we're going to need to find some cunning, some strategy, look into the self-interest here. There's also standards and boundaries here because there could be a manipulation, Seven of Swords, there could be a betrayal, Five of Swords. We're also going to be looking back over time and seeing all the ways where we were innocent, naive, where we were startled awake because of the shock of a betrayal, a wound. We're going to be looking back and seeing all the times where somebody was being sneaky, where our intuition told us something, but we kind of ignored it. There's a lot coming through here. I'm getting quite a bit. So basically, we're going to be gaining discernment because we're sitting in truth now. And it's a leg up. And it is the end of a cycle. There's not a large need to keep figuring things out. It'll start to deliver on its own. That cycle could take up to 6 months. So it's something to be aware of. We might start to get inklings, and then after time, we won't have to figure things out. We won't need to do any type of psychic investigation. Everything will be clear. Maybe not out in the open, but we'll be able to trust our intuition. Could we also have the Four of Pentacles and this Ace of Wands clarifying the Judgment card? So when the Judgment and the World card come out, it actually says we don't need to do much more questioning or divination or deliberation. I also want to say a little bit of housekeeping. If the reading goes a little bit too long or if it's a little bit too slow, there are pauses sometimes because I'm getting a narrative or a download. You can always increase the playback speed. It's somewhere in like the settings for the video. Also, there's usually, not always, but usually a summary. It'll be between the Hamza hands in the about section, show notes, or description box, depending on the platform. There's a creative new beginning, but also we're leaning into our power because there's been some type of karmic cycle. We need to secure a situation now because we know not everybody out there or not everybody on the opposing side means well. We do need some kind of safe space, some kind of sanctuary, some kind of place of respite, some kind of a lair, if you would. You know, putting our hopes, wishes, dreams, heart's desires, souls, ambitions, our aspirations into an other doesn't always do well. It can, but actually there's hidden agendas, ulterior motives on the hands of other people, on the sides of other people. They're going to be carrying a burden, having a cross to bear, essentially. While we're all la 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 la, we're loving, caring, you know, while we might not know that we're strumming somebody else's pain on our fingers. You know, we might be touching wounds and touching pains that they didn't share with us, making things worse without even knowing. And we're coming from a place of love. And it's very easy to get frenemies. Our energy is very easy to get frenemies. That's not uncommon when we have a divine calling on our life. It's easy to stumble into problems, into trouble, and not know for a while. That's why it's also going to be required that we get some type of divination on our hand. You know, learn tarot, cowries, cartomancy, taromancy, runes, some type of I Ching. We're going to need to figure out a divination system because there is something here that is a vulnerability, but also we're learning how to deal with this situation as well. Because I think it's a general malady. It's just going to be like a collective sickness. This is not the best time, and I think it's universal to the collective or the generation. It's a seasonal thing amongst everybody. We might be like, well, I could do this, well, I could do that. Unfortunately, we're born right now in darkness. This is not a time when God walks the earth or the love of God walks the earth. Not that many people are fearful of the divine or fearful of the creator or fearful of source energy or care about karma, what comes back on them. Of course, we know other people with good hearts because a loving heart is going to find other loving hearts, but a thief is going to think everybody is stealing. A liar is going to think that everybody else is lying. A person with a good heart and good nature is going to think everybody means well for them. And the case is that there's actually more people, La Falsita, there's more people walking around and there's more wolves walking around in sheep's clothing than we care to admit. And we're going to give to these people until they show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're Oga Boga, that we shouldn't be giving not know nothing to them. And that's just what it is. It's a karmic cycle we have to kind of go through. And it might have hurt a little bit, but it definitely would have felt like a betrayal. Now there's some witches out there as well, but some spell is lifting, curses breaking, hexes breaking. We have 10 of Wands and 6 of Wands clarifying this Hierophant, which means we were chosen for a sacred spot. We have something through birth and birthright that a lot of people don't get. Not everybody gets to be chosen. That's part of what this difficulty was. We went through a difficult cycle, and now things are beginning again. We have lots of tens out, or lots of tens on the way. I'm looking at 3 tens, but I typically don't call these 2 cards out. I talk about everything else. So we were going through karmic cycles to build ourselves up as well. They didn't need to be a trial, but to an effect, they became a trial. And see, the Hierophant and the Judgment card is taking an oath, a vow, typically to the divine. Because, yeah, there's connections out there, 2 of Cups. There are people that will be on the same page, but not without discernment. Okay. What we're needing is very clear enlightenment after looking into darkness. If everything seems hunky dory in the beginning, actually it's difficult to trust. Now, there may be some type of Scorpio rising, Aquarius moon energy here. Definitely, if we're dealing with another person, they have Jupiter in the 5th house or in the sign of Leo, which would mean they're trying to get us to come out and play. That's called elicitation. It's a technique of manipulation. They're going to invite us out to play. They're going to do little things to get us to act. And they're really what they're doing is testing. And I don't know why I'm getting such a negative skew here, because also there will be people that are expansive that really help us out, that their energy coming into our life is very beneficial. But these will be spiritual people that are in positions of power. So on another hand, after we go through this karmic cycle, 10 of Wands, after we cleanse and re-educate ourselves, really get a clue, it's because there are standards and boundaries here. There are systems, structures, foundations. There are tools, techniques, technologies, means, mechanisms, methodologies. Essentially, we're going to need to learn policy, procedure, and protocol, the rules of the game. We're going to need to learn how to go by the book, or at least, at the very least, come correct. Don't initially put all of our trust in people. Yeah, be loving, be caring, be kind, be generous, be empathetic, lead with the heart, absolutely. But also trust a person when they show you who they are the first time, or said differently, follow the intuition. Don't, benefit of the doubt is not really a thing. That's a fallacy. I don't want to go into the sociology of that. Benefit of the doubt is a fallacy. Yes, believe evil not until you see it. Because once an enemy, you can never be a friend. We return loyalty with loyalty and disrespect with distance. The reason that once an enemy can never be a friend, because retroactively we discover that they never were. It may take a person 1 year, 2 years to show their true self, but if a person can do that, they never were in our corner. And it's hard to believe. We think people change midstream. We can never believe that a person would do that because we would never do that. That's really what it is. And so I got to just say really quickly, because it seems like we're talking about some heavy duty things here. During the new moon is actually a more positive time than the full moon. The positive time at the new moon is different than the full moon, because the full moon is like expediation. So it's like releasing. So it's also sometimes banishing or forbidding. But at the new moon, yeah, you could do a bunch of witchy stuff and it can be negative. But actually, the new moon is still more positive because you're setting intention, you're beginning a cycle, you're calling in the powers of creation, you're resetting certain things instead of ending and wrapping up like you would be at the full moon. So, witchy coochie coo, warm and fuzzy, coochie coochie. kumbaya lullaby. Let me say that just so that whatever I'm talking about, I want to say this doesn't need to be all negative. It's not the time of the month for that. However, that is what's coming through. Because when you have the strength card and the Hierophant, it could mean witchcraft. And there's a natural born witch here. And with the Six of Wands and the strength card, what that means is some kind of Jupiter and Leo or a lineage witch, somebody that's like born with it. They didn't have to go through a spirit and make an agreement to get it. Could we have traditional witch and spirit witch? So that's a healer and a practitioner. Because all we need is emotional fortitude, strength, courage, and wisdom. That's the only thing we need to worry about. We're not going to necessarily need to be uber scrutinizing with every single soul that comes through, pulls through for some love and connection. So we have 3 10s on the board now. So we're going to go ahead and do a couple few things. I want to know what that six. Hi, this is Priestess Chandi. Baba's working, honey. Baba is working. You not hear me? You need to sit your behind down, baby girl. I said I'm working, sweet thing. Do you understand? So that Six of Wands with the Strength card was saying that we need better discernment. Things could go either way. On one hand, what we need to understand is because of the calling on our life, because the covering, the covenant on our life, we went through much protection, but it was in situations of distress. It's almost like we're healing from some kind of drunken stupor. And essentially, what we're going to discover is that everything is fake. When you add this card, La Falsita, the love and the affection was fake. The goodies were fake. It wasn't real diamonds, it was cubic zirconia. It wasn't real gold. It was spray painted gold. And really, these are people that if you let them in, they will harm. It's not a competition, it is a resentment. And the reading started out with Five of Swords. And what I'm getting to put a positive spin on this is that we are discovering that we were very well protected for a long time, but there was a hidden enemy that became an open enemy. And actually, there were hidden agendas, ulterior motives. And it doesn't matter what and who, the learning of that is the lesson. Because now we can go forward in the future. Never let that stop us from loving. Never let that stop us from being a good person. Never let that stop us from having an open heart. However, when it happens, let's not be surprised. We don't go to a party, eat a cookie, and be like, "Oh my gosh, I have diabetes," and we don't go around saying, "The sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. I have diabetes." My mother passed of diabetes complications. But like, if we're at a party and we eat a cookie and we're feeling lightheaded, we know, oh, it might be that cookie I ate half an hour ago. Or say, we don't get super anxious when we're doing our laundry and think that our clothes are going to come out pink. But we do take extra precaution to separate the colors from the whites. And if for some reason we pull our clothes out of the dryer and the clothes are pink, we just think back to when we started the cycle and be like, did I mix my clothes? Was I not mindful? We don't freak out thinking that we're going to get a ticket all the time, but we do kind of watch the speed limit. And if, you know, somebody lights us up, we pull over and we say, I'm so sorry, I wasn't paying attention to my speed. You see what I'm saying? What we don't do is walk through the world, ruminating, oscillating, vacillating in fear, marinating in terror. We actually fix ourselves on our intention and we put that frequency, energy, vibration out into the world. And in order to do that, we're going to need to have an open heart, a loving spirit. It just is going to require discernment. And for some reason, this is being reiterated. So we have quite a bit here. We have quite a bit here. Firstly, this Ten of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles is clarifying the Tower card. So we're about to have a come up. It's going to come in out of the blue overnight. And there's some kind of Hierophant tower. We needed to work on some of our shoddy behavior. And I don't think we were bad. I think we allowed too much to go down before we lock it down. We give people the benefit of the doubt. We give too many second, third, and subsequent chances. We linger and meander in the BS and the horse pucky for a little bit too long. We don't call it when we see it. We don't put an end to things. We might not have the standards and boundaries that we need to. Or if we do, they're a little bit too stringent. And it's not that we can't forgive. It's not that we can't be loving. It's that we also need to be discerning. We don't need to forget. We just need to forgive. So this tower is clarifying the 10 of wands. Excuse me. We've had all 4 10s out already. The tower is clarifying the 10 of pentacles with the Queen of Pentacles, which is saying that we need legacy. And that's the thing that's going to be attacked as well. That's what is called a threat vector. That's the attack surface that people want. They see that we have blessings on our life. They see that we have a calling on our life, star card. Okay. And 10 of swords, 10 of cups, that's the damnation and paradise. It's literally heaven on earth. And I'll be honest, this is the eternal afterlife and also the other place. Because the 10 of wands means like hell, but the purgatory kind of hell, meaning when we go there, we cleanse and we re-educate ourselves. The 10 of swords, however, when we go there, we purify and experience punishment. So something here is like a break. It's finally over. And really what's happening here is that there is some energy around that is either being lifted off the calling on our life or it's trying to cancel out what the calling on our life is. But the future looks bright and something is going to happen spontaneously overnight. I'm getting Virgo moon energy. I'm also looking at 3 10s. So let's have a look. What does this 3 10s mean? So we need to get in connection with our head spirit. It doesn't need to be a full indigenous initiation. It can be. Contact me if you want that. Email in the show notes. But it could be that we just kind of research our mother's line and see what they were doing. We could resonate with some type of goddess. We could interface with the spiritual technology in whatever way. Some of us really love the earth. We wake up every morning and put our feet in the grass and look at the sun. Some of us go on a walk after dinner. Some of us journal. Some of us pray by a candle. Some of us take an Epsom salt bath. Whatever that is, we need to have a reverence of this. Does that make sense? You know, a lot of us practitioners, we do all the witchy cuckoo, but then we also do a little bit of the Bible reading. I love to read Psalms and Proverbs. I do it all the time. It gives me such peace. I also like to read Judges and Ruth. I mean, honestly. So there's something about us going to manifest whatever this gift is that we've been given. And we're going to make a life out of it. And there is some energy power that's either going to hit very suddenly, like an overnight success kind of thing, or it's going to try to destroy something. because there's some kind of Nine of Wands. We've got to strive for something, to try harder, but also there could be evil eyes. There could be some kind of entitlement. Something feels owed to us because there's an energy here, Five of Pentacles. It feels left out, or it's stripped, or it's going through hardship. Some energy wanted to find a way to finagle some type of union. Because Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups is a union. It's also a completion of a cycle. Now, I feel like it's an enemy following us through the portal because we have cosmic love here. Even though we are not together, we are connected through and through. When I am sleeping, I dream of you. When I am awake, I think of you. I am able to feel you as if you are physically here. And this is on the grounds of union, instinct, Taurus, and balancing. So there's a message that's coming in all of the readings lately that focus on what's in front of us. Get over our little BS, our little horse pucky. Because when we're done healing, when we're done cleaning up, when we're done purifying, when we're in alignment, when we're back on the path, love is going to show up. That romantic suki suki now kind of love. Okay? The waiting to exhale kind of love. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's the little things like self love, self worth, self respect. Because I'm hearing that we've lost sight of our goals or something like that. And we need to do it for the sake of, not because it's performative or whatever. Because somebody here is a Virgo a Virgo sun. They could be a Pisces rising, Scorpio rising. Somebody here has their sun in Scorpio. Somebody here has their sun in Virgo. We need to get to the bottom of something because we keep manifesting something to the threshold. And what it is the agreement that we made with the divine before we came here. And we need to get to work, and it's going to require that we confront something. It could be a little bit of spell work here, but I'm not getting it as strongly as the other times. What this is that we have some kind of duties or obligations. We have some type of duties or obligations that need to be confronted. Something's hidden, something's not manifest. If there is an energy external that's trying to take hold or take action upon us, it's not actually working. But that's what I'm getting from this entitled energy. Something here feels entitled to do something, but what it is that it's not being serious. Something isn't being straightforward. Something isn't being direct. And on the other hand, we're not firm and strong in our intention in some kind of way. We go from self-knowledge, hermit, self-reflection, wise counsel, to the moon card. So that's dark night of the soul, drumming the depths of the subconscious. It's the same with the hermit, but it's just our soul's wisdom with the hermit. With the moon card, it's drumming the depths of the soul's conscious, confronting our shadow even. Okay, so we've been getting some pairings here. Let's do one thing. What was the hermit with the moon message from the other side? There is something that wants to get us alone or that needs to get us to consider something. Because love is around the corner, but the first thing we need to do is focus on self-love and self-alignment. There is some type of universal job role function that we have. We are here on purpose, and that's going to be the single thing that unlocks everything else. We need to fall into formation. But let me say it differently. There's a calling in our life. We made an agreement before we came here into the physical, and getting in alignment with that is going to unlock all the other doors, wealth and money. Okay? Because there's running out of patience here. And I was just hearing that song, running round in circles, lost my focus, lost sight of my goal. I do this for the love of music, not for the glitter and gold. Got everything that I paid for, even a little more. Yeah, but I think the things that we were praying for are showing up, and the only thing that we need is reverence to the divine, and that's different words for different people. So, what I'm getting, the little things, and the joy they bring, it's telling me that something here is a whisper in our life, and it's not going to shout. But oftentimes, before the divine blesses us, there is a little whisper first. Somebody definitely has their moon in Sagittarius. And we are going to have to withdraw from something. Eight of Cups. It's going to be some type of transition, transformation. It could be irrevocable. There could also be some kind of North Node in Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, or in the eighth house. Something's getting stripped. We either need to deal with the disappointment and walk on by. We need to step out of some kind of up and down, yes and no, in and out, wrong, right. We need to let it die or let it strip or accept defeat, something to that effect. It's really some energy is going to get purged because we're withdrawing and it doesn't have a foothold to take anymore because we're on high ground, but we need to defend ourselves. And a pair of nines usually means the need to take space. And again, all these petitions keep coming out face down. So there have been declarations of love or some energy coming to us. I'm getting breadcrumbing energy, but yeah, this is an X or something that got suspended or something that didn't work out. Essentially, there's going to be tokens of love here, but it's a repose of a false heart. There's a reason that they're coming back. And it's this energy is not something that should come back. The Knight of Wands isn't here. It's the Knight of Cups. I feel like this energy, if we let something back in, it'll slow us down again. There's a plan here for us not to get too far out, too far ahead, because this energy is the stratification. There's a message here to be cold, stone cold, so that we don't slip back into our old life because the path that we're on and the causes that we're making, We need to continue on in those causes in order to manifest this overnight success that's coming. Got everything that I prayed for, even a little more. Because we are receiving our angel wings. That's where we're going. We're getting spiritual perfection. After we let a bunch go and purge a bunch and walk on to a higher ground and to go through pilgrimage and maturation and learn about our spiritual gifts and learn about our spiritual path, we're going to have the spiritual perfection. Temperance card is also the angel wings. Healing, humility, patience, peace, fortitude. That was the end of patience. I want to check it. Yeah, something, the wheel of fortune is smiling upon us. I'm sitting far away from the camera because the cat was here. Yeah, okay, so I can talk mostly about us, but I do keep getting a hit that there's something at the gate and it's distressing for them. There's some energy that just can't get back in or can't get to us, and they do not like it. But there's an entitlement here. They think they're owed something. And if you can't use your words, you can't actually gain access. That's my rule. You need your own. I don't know how y'all handle it. If somebody leaves your life or if something gets let go of, how do you know when to let it back in? I have a standard rule, it's hard and fast, and if that rule needs to be amended, the Lord, the divine, will have to CC me on that email. And it happens sometimes, not often, but it does happen every few years. Because page of one, seven of wands, we're feeling defensive. And the page of wands is a target. Something's been going on for a long time, and there's now a decision to make. And it's saying fairness and love. However, this love is clarified by the Five of Cups. So what's going to happen is truth is going to come out. Somebody's going to show up to apologize. And remember what I said in the beginning? That we're finally going to know all the little bits and pieces. And it may take about 6 months, but the cycle is starting. Where all the missing pieces are going to come through, pull through, they're going to kind of click into place. So when this energy comes back, it's not about getting back, it's not about rekindling the flame. It's about letting them air their grievance, saying like, hey, I've become a better person. I wouldn't do that again. XYZ, LMNOP, ABC, TUV, EFG. I don't know what was going on. I was not in my right mind, la-di-da, yada-yada, so on and so forth, whatever, what have you. Ad nauseum and infinitum, etc. They're going to say their little, strumming my pain. They're going to say that, singing my whole life. They're going to do all of that. And then we're going to say, peace be upon you, blessings to your healing. I wish you goodness and happiness in this world, in this lifetime. Thank you for your mission. Thank you for serving it perfectly. I appreciate you for being the lesson that I passed, and I'm sorry that I was the lesson that you failed. I've moved on and moved forward. You should too. Peace be upon you. Blessings to your ways. Blessings to your healing. What we can do is grant forgiveness, but not re-grant access. And it is a test. The Tower is a test, the Judgment card is a test, and the Justice card is a test. When you have the Lovers card and the Justice card, that means fairness and love. But we have this page of Wands and Seven of Wands. That's what this Justice card is talking about. And that means we definitely need to defend our position because some energy is going to want to come through for a reunion, but it's because they can't let it go. They can't let it die. They can't put it to rest. They're stuck. And that's fine. They might be plagued because they did something, but here's the deal. It might have never left their mind. But here's the deal. This is us, falsita. The only good card, the only good message of this card is something isn't as it seems. We're not who we used to be. The person in their mind, the person that they're waxing philosophically, the person they're hoping, wishing, praying, carving up some wounding and yearning from the past and longing and all of that, that person's dead. That hoe's gone. In order to heal, in order to move forward, we had to say goodbye to that person. You remember the person that would have dealt with your BS and would have been attracted to you. That person is long since gone. You coming to me with a little floppy disk, and homeboy, I've already updated to CD-ROM and to DVD and to Blu-ray, and you're still trying to give me this little floppy disk from the night. Bye. Bye. You know, you're over here robbing my house and you don't realize that I moved 2 months ago. So that TV and that boombox and all that kitchenware that you taken into your little car, your little truck, that's not my stuff. That's what this is. Um, because the Five of Cups with the Ace of Swords, yeah, okay, there's a choice here, but it's a no. What they will get is forgiveness because they've been mourning, they've been grieving, they do feel remorse, they do feel sad and disappointed. But also, what's going to happen is truth, and it's karmic. Somebody here is probably a Libra rising. Oh, yep. So we have the Emperor and the Empress here. I'm going to pull a divine card here. I'm going to pop up love just to see if we have anything like that. But so we're independent. This is Aquarius energy. Independent, progressive, artistic, idealistic, intelligent, unique, altruistic. This is somebody that needs validation. This is what they need. Because yeah, okay, it's cute that they're coming back. It's cute that they're saying sorry. It's cute that they're strumming the paint on their fingers and all of that, and then some. But here's what's up: we're looking for new. This is old. We're looking for new. Because they're breaking through barriers, and there's nothing wrong with that. We can't poo-poo on their healing. We need to let them continue on that journey. That journey is just not with us. Removing obstacles that resulted in cultural differences, family situations, or sexual orientation. Realizing the truth with understanding. You must push through with the connection. Okay, well, some of us will do that because they're going through a winter. Things are withering up on the vine. Nothing is as good and juicy to them anymore because they came across our path and then they walked on by without us. Now they're trying to spin the block and come back around. Come through, pull through, come hard, come harder. Well, that's going to be difficult. We had 3 10s before, and now we have 3 knights, and the knights match exactly what those 3 10s were, and they're in the exact same positions as well. So unfortunately, the chariot's not out here, so it's not the same person. Like I said, we've gone forward, we've moved on, left something behind, withdrawn our energy. Somebody's going to tell us what was going on in the past, and what they're walking through is somebody that can counsel them, give wise counsel, give education, but they're going to try to work on some type of union, some type of love connection, or we will work on a bond. We can have a bond. That's not the problem. So the thing is, we also still do have feelings, but it's not, the situation's done everything it can do. La vecchia signora maritata, or excuse me, la matrice. There's nothing new. The wonder is gone. Excitement is gone. And I'm not saying that we need excitement and love. That's a dangerous proposition because we might throw away the good thing. Yeah, sure, in the beginning. But that also might be our trauma wiring. the neuroplasticity might be lagging behind in terms of we consider a traumatic relationship exciting because that's what we grew up and what we're used to. And now that we have something safe over here, it seems boring. We need to get over that. There's also something going on that, if we grew up not receiving love on a silver platter, on a silver spoon, we will learn to grow up licking love off of a knife. So at the very least, this was struggle love. Something wasn't worthy, wasn't respecting when we were present. We can be dealing with the Capricorn rising as well. Something wasn't worthy, wasn't 100% when we were present. They didn't recognize us. They put us through a lot of heartache and heartbreak. But now they're going to come back around when we're moving forward. Because this is the mess. This is suddenly something comes out. They come in to deliver some kind of news, and it's disappointing. Because now we're going to understand why all the delays happen in the past. It's going to be a discovery, but it's not necessarily going to be like, oh, yeah, let's try a relationship now. Some of us will be able to sit them down and talk everything through and realize, like, okay, now we have a straightforward relationship, but I wish it was like this back then. Because it's a new beginning, and the new beginnings aren't with old people. That's resuming something that we once set down. This is an energy that wants to see if they still have any open road, anything to tether to, and it's a no, actually, because we have Five of Wands, Three of Pentacles, so we don't want that energy inside. I'm going to be honest, these two cards together aren't a good sign. It's a difficulty working together, or what it is giving negative energy something to grow. One bad apple spoils the whole bunch. Well, this little negative energy or karmic lesson kicks off a whole bunch of other things. And it'll take us 3 months to figure that out. So if we're in a place where we can give something 3 months, okay. But again, we want something new here. Fanchula. Something that we haven't experienced before. Because what this is looking for access. There's something we need. Okay. So this full moon is this new moon is about letting things go for good. This is letting a thief in the house. That's what these two cards mean together. Giving somebody access to the inner circle so they can later on come back and steal. It's not going to seem like it. That's what is hard, because it's going to seem like, oh, we're reconciling. No, no, no. Good feelings are coming back, making us forget all the old feelings, and we don't need to worry about that. The past is the past. People do evolve and heal and change, but we have also evolved and healed and changed. We're wanting discernment. So when this energy comes back, we need to learn and learn and learn and learn and learn. We need to listen and listen, because they're going to say some things that we need, but it don't matter. We're not going to take this energy from this person with us into the future. This is a trickster energy. Seven of Cups, Three of Swords. It's a no. We can't let this in. Okay, and we're done. We have the High Priestess. Well, we got one more round. High Priestess, which is the moon, and then Chariot, which is Cancer. So yeah, something is coming forward to attend to the situation, but it's a glamour. We need to process all the feelings and then not choose anything that's offered to us. That's the thing with the Seven of Cups, because it will bind us. Because right now we have an open road. And we should use this example to understand whatever is coming forward. We'll understand if it's from the past, why we were bound. That's how the reading started up. We didn't realize that we were surrounded by people that wished us harm or didn't have the best for us. They maybe were in self-interest. This energy that's coming back, this returner, we're going to discover like, oh, okay, you were unhealed, unawakened, and you're telling me what you've learned. And in doing that, you're also reflecting back to me what I need to incorporate into my standards and boundaries. And I understand like it didn't work out and it sucks, but I'm not going to revisit this in that way. Perhaps we could be friends or la-di-da, yada yada, but to let somebody back in intimately or let them back in really at all, it's asking for more heartache. And it's been mentioned. And it's not going to be easily discernible. The thing that jumps out most to me is that this is an energy that when they healed, when they awakened, they should have just said sorry and then moved on. If they're still looking back to the past, try to rekindle a flame that's already been extinguished. There's so many questions there. I'm not even going to ask them right now. But this is a karmic cycle. We need to move on out of the karmic cycle. And it was love, and this energy is going to give love finally. But it's a mimicry of some kind. It's really to destiny swap or to timeline swap or something. We need to let this go for sure. I keep hearing let it die. I'm just not seeing that. We have a triple three that came through. Yeah, so there will be luck and unluck, fortune and misfortune, but here it's really that this energy is going to try to get us to make a deal with the devil. We can't trust this. The Queen of Wands is here with the Devil card, and there's some energy coming in trying to get us into a union. They want us to take on a covenant, but it's dark. It's dark. And it's not going to seem like that. Because we're going to be feeling chosen. We're going to be feeling content. We're going to be feeling fulfilled. It's not. This is energy is trying to get us to sell our soul. They want us in a jar, in a pinned down, energetically quarantined. They don't want us to have our come up, our boss up, our level up, our glow up. That's what this is. It's going to be hard to believe that because we're not going to see anything with the naked eye that tells us. But in the spirit, it's a demon. Even demons go through ascension. Sometimes they heal. They just that's they don't heal enough. They don't learn enough, or they fall back into old patterns. And demon is relative. One person could eat a bunch of donuts and still stand straight. But if I eat a bunch of donuts, I'm gonna have a tummy ache, and I'm gonna have to sleep for an hour. You know what I mean? Some people can drink a whole bottle of vodka and still walk in a straight line. Other people get alcohol poisoning. So a demon is just a toxin, but not everybody gets toxemia. It doesn't overtake everybody's system. Just because it's toxic to one person doesn't mean it's toxic to another person. Because this is a dark being. This is a dark being. And I keep hearing like our mind's gonna be like, but, because it won't seem like it, but that's what it is. It's very clearly a no. We're being told to walk on by. And honestly, the Six of Swords with the Devil card is the River Styx. The Devil card doesn't even need to be there. That's why you're moving into calmer emotional waters. It's because you're leaving hell. So this energy is the shapeshifter. It wants to mimic something so that we'll let our guard down. Say like, hey, I'm like you, or don't you remember when? Or we're like, we're on the same page. No, no, we're not. You're a chapter that I've already closed. So this was a message about clarity coming over the next 6 months, about things that have long since gone and completed, cycles that are no longer active. Yeah, chapters are closing, but it's because others are getting ready to open. This is a season of the bow getting put on things, the period getting put on, turning the page, going to a new chapter. I just want to say a quick prayer for all those still lost out there to illusion, delusion, confusion, trapped in the seas of time, lost somewhere in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the resplendent grace of the divine, unconditional love and universal oneness. Ha'anapana, we love you. We're sorry. Please forgive us. Thank you. We ask that our steps be ordered, our path be illuminated, and that we find salvation and redemption in this lifetime. May we be happy. May we be healthy. May we be whole. May we be at peace. May we receive everything we ever wanted, starting with what we deserve. Until we meet again, until we read again, Namaste, Dandava, and Ashe. Sayonara, Das Vidanya, Avida Zane. Take good care. Bye bye.